Before I get into the actual gist of this video for another episode of CS News, I want to thank you all so much for your kind words and all the messages and DMs and Steam messages I've received over the past few days. Thank you all so much, and especially those of you who reached out to me personally, whether it be via email or Steam or Twitter, and really kind of re-encouraged me towards the future of my YouTube career / live streaming, and I really need the next few days to actually think about that. Also want to thank my sponsor. If you guys want to look at that down below, skins.cash, a great way, compared to OP skins as well. I want you guys to use my new sponsor to the best of your advantage as possible, guys. Use both websites accordingly. If they offer you more for some skins on one website, use that website instead. Get you another option out there for you guys apart from OP skins. And again, the more you sell on that website, the more they give back to you. So again, thank you all so much for the kind words. I cannot thank you guys enough. But now, more importantly, on to our next episode of CS News. Hope you guys all enjoy. Here's our first story. And I want you to know today's first story is very serious. Time markers out down below. If you guys are not interested in PEA or Sean Gares potentially being fired from TSM for this open letter about PEA, please skip forward to other stories. We have a lot of great stories today. I'm going to try and sum this up as fast as possible. But first off, I'm going to link Richard Lewis's video down below for all of you. It's an hour-long video discussing this in further depth than I can. But I want you all to know that currently, right now, PEA, the Professional Esports Association, is trying to screw over North American players in a very, very unhandy and really unprofessional way as well. Now, of those of the teams that are actually a part of PEA right now, the teams that are trying to combat this are to the 5 following teams. We have CLG, TSM, Immortals, Liquid, alongside Cloud9. All 25 of those players of those 5 teams are trying to combat the issues at hand right now, which is PEA trying to exclude those teams a part of PEA, North American PEA. If you guys do not know, the Professional Esports Association is pretty much the North American version of WESG, which was instilled, early summer. You guys heard about that. That's pretty much the European version of this PEA going on right now. And the main thing right now is they're trying to exclude these teams and these players from participating in next season of ESL Pro League, which is obviously a big issue for these players. Probably one of the more fun events these guys go to, alongside promotion for these players, is a 10-week period playing all North American teams across, the entire country, as well as a final chance at playing against North American teams and obviously ESL Pro League championships. So a really big thing here. Obviously, the players come out and said they were not led aware of this. They didn't know about this. They weren't told about this until now, where PEA is finally announcing it. I want you guys to also know 25 of those players, pretty much the starting rosters for all 5 of those teams I listed off, TSM, Cloud9, Liquid, Immortals, and alongside CLG as well. They actually signed with Scott Smith. I'm going to show him on screen right now, his Twitter. A very, very smart guy, also a CSGO analyst. You guys see him alongside the desk with Thorn all the time at some events. He's actually gone ahead and written up a public letter a couple days ago. I had the chance to finally read that. I was on the road. A great public letter pretty much saying that, these players were misled. They were never told about these exclusions that were going to be laid upon them once they joined PEA. And pretty much I want you guys to know right now, and again, I'm going to sum up Richard Lewis's video right now, money is power. Greed is what really motivates all these orgs and their owners right now. That is why they chose to join PEA and not inform their players. And the main the essential point of this I'm going to link Scott Smith's letter down below for all of you guys too. The main point here was these players are misled and not led to be aware. Also going on these last 24 hours is apparently PEA going around individual players and trying to get them to confess to things that would actually make it okay for them. So that would be, getting a player to say they didn't read their contracts or getting a player to say they didn't know about this. Pretty much confesses for that player. So they're trying to single-handedly target individual players to pretty much get them so they can't get out of their contracts by if they say, if you openly admit to saying I didn't read my contracts, well, too bad for you, that's your fault. Also, in huge news, if you guys not hear about this, also last night we had Sean Gares post all of these messages. I'm going to show them slowly on screen for all of you guys, with TSM's owner, that is Reginald, who apparently is potentially thinking about firing Sean Gares for being a part of this open letter and actually signing on that. Now, interesting note for all of you guys, we have no other players at this point in time actually posting potential threats to be fired. Now, obviously with the Cloud9 guys, I think it's fairly different because Cloud9 is such a big brand in itself. You cannot go around and probably fire a Nothing. I think Nothing is one, or Automatic or Stewie2K. Those guys aren't going to be fired. Now with TSM, they obviously just added Shazam and Sean Gares for their 2017 lineup, so they're definitely in a more potential position to be fired for this. But Sean Gares releasing all these tweets and messages and text messages on screen is absolutely, it's unbelievable at this point in time that Sean Gares could lose his job just for being a part of this letter. It's going to be curious to see what other teams of those 25 players who signed this letter who also might lose their job. And this is just a really, really kind of heated up story for all of you guys. I'm going to give that's all I got for the PEA story. I know it lasted 4 minutes long. Again, watch Richard Lewis's video, read the open letter down below, and that was in huge CSGO news. Now on to some lighter and kind of happier stories. And then some other big news for all of you guys. Jkaem has now officially left FaZe clan. It was back in November. He was replaced by Kiyoshima for that starting roster. We thought he was actually leaving the clan altogether back then. It seems now actually official via Twitter a few days ago. He tweeted out this. He has now officially left the clan, looking for future plans. As many of you guys also know, he's a part of Maikelele's new team for the DreamHack Las Vegas qualifiers, though Maikelele did tweet out and actually came out just yesterday or late last night, his new roster is going to be different from his roster for DreamHack Las Vegas qualifiers. Now, the DreamHack tours are going to be in early January. After that, though, it seems this will be the lineup on screen right now for his new team. Going to be many of the Scandinavian players we predicted first off. So, that initial news where people thought, whoa, his team for DreamHack Las Vegas was a totally different roster. That seems to be just a part-time roster with Jkaem saying he's going to have different future plans, probably going to be joining an actual organization. Maikelele's new team, though, will include former CLG PEA. So glad to see them together because they've been trying to, actually play together for some time now, ever since he left the FaZe himself, Maikelele. They've been trying to play together for quite some time. They also got former Fnatic Wenton is going to be on that team as well, alongside former Escape Gaming player Slap, and their fifth member, a guy I've actually not heard too much about. He's known best of all for his time with Torpedo Gaming. That'll be their fifth member, Adder, and that'll be their all Scandinavian, Swedish-speaking roster. Gonna be really cool to see what these guys do, but also gonna be cool to see how Maikelele does with this squad, with Jkaem on that squad. I'm gonna put that on screen right now for all of you guys. The DreamHack Las Vegas qualifiers go on throughout late December all the way throughout early January, so we're not gonna know as of right now, and for at least a few days, or until Maikelele or one of the teammates tells us if that actual team with Jkaem and Maikelele together, that really random 5-man roster that people thought was underrated, if they actually qualify for DreamHack Las Vegas, they're probably going to play that out, but this will be his future team. And a couple days ago for my last episode of CS:GO News, I did announce that Dignitas guys were going to be trying to be signed early January by a new organization. It does seem, though, FC Copenhagen, also in that previous CS:GO News episode, was one of the new football clubs out there in Europe who was looking to sign a new team. Now, apparently, it's all lined up. They will be signing the Ex-Dignitas players in time for early January for the probably two of the biggest events of the year of 2017, obviously starting in January of next year. Can be really cool to see. They should be playing in FC Copenhagen jerseys if this all goes through, guys. The entire lineup will participate in both WESG as well as the E-League final. Again, two of the biggest events. WESG finals, a $800,000 first place prize and a bigger prize pool than the major itself. They should be playing in time under the FC Copenhagen flag and under their team organization as well. So it's gonna be really cool to see what happens to this team as well. It does seem they have found a really cool investor. Now, also leaked as well, it should be that Danish investors, including FC Copenhagen, are going to be investing several amounts of money, millions of dollars, into organizations like Dignitas, Astralis, Godson as well. That was also released by Esports. I'll link that article down below for all of you guys. So it seems like everyone is trying to get their bit of the cookie, and it does seem, especially as of right now, the Danish scene is a big target for that. So big investments coming soon. FC Copenhagen also taking over the Ex-Dignitas lineup sometime soon, early January. And also in CS:GO News, FMPONE has continued to leak more things on his Twitter. I'm going to link that Twitter down below. Again, I have so many things to link, so if I do forget one, I am sorry, guys. FMPONE, look him up on Twitter. He continues to leak new and possibly new operation in CS:GO maps in general. He actually paired this up just a couple nights ago. It looks like a submarine. He was leaving this hint. Many people also replied to this. Now, also paired up with his previous tweets about, future maps as well. It does seem people are trying to think and actually speculate these maps will be called, mainly the number one will be DE_Sub-Zero as well as DEC side. Should be the two maps people are trying to hint at, especially the Sub-Zero map. Now the submarine being shown, it looks absolutely cool. So FMPONE really doing a great job interacting with the whole community here and leaking stuff like this. Make sure to follow him on Twitter if you guys want these things ahead of the time that I can actually release them. And another former FaZe member, this time it's FaZe Fox, actually going to have a kid on the way, as of this tweet on screen right now. Not really relevant CS:GO news, but he does have a baby boy coming sometime soon. As well as Liquid Nitro joins the handful of players who have been married this past year, including Sean, Gares, even MoTV, as Liquid Nitro did get married to the love of his life. This tweet on screen right now, always cute to see that. And that's going to do it for today's episode of CS:GO News. Really good to be back, guys, making more videos. Once I sit down and actually make these clips, it just feels so good to be back in the whole gist of things. Thank you all again for your kind words, as well as my sponsor, skins.cash. Important down below, guys, my Twitter, as well as look out for some live streams. I have big giveaways coming on all Christmas long, all Christmas break long. I have hundreds of items to give away, not only thankfully to my sponsor, skins.cash, but most of them out of my own pocket as well. So I cannot wait to give those away via Twitter as well as my live streams. Look out for that, guys. I am back at home. I have pretty crappy internet here. I also invested in my own CSGO server, about a 10-man server this past week, and should be working that out. Hopefully, even here at home when I have really crappy internet, we can still play viewer matches, have some fun time doing that. So I should be back to live streaming sometime soon, and more Christmas giveaways. Look out for that on my Twitter as well as my live streams. Thank you all so much again for your kind words. I cannot thank you guys enough for how much it remotivated me and hopefully help pick me up these next couple weeks while I decide over the course of these next few days and weeks what I should do with my future. So again, thank you all so much. Remember, my name is Jake. Remember, I like you. I'll see you all next time. Remember, I like you. Goodbye, guys. Going back to the whole Sean Gares situation, you had Reginald actually tell him he was tarnishing the brand for being a part of that open letter. You better be dang right when you're a greedy, money-hungry team owner and you're trying to join the PEA in the first place just to pay your own bills, and all of a sudden you have a player who wants to speak out and actually play more CSGO wherever he wants to, and you think he's tarnishing the brand. You being a part of the PE, oh man, these people, these team orgs, these owners, it's going to come out at some point in time, guys, where all these players maybe have a small revolt against their owners. Maybe the players who are in transition, who don't really need a team right now, are going to come out and really speak the truth about these owners. This situation is really heating me up. Hope you guys all enjoy this episode of CS News. I'll be back tomorrow with more. Goodbye, guys.